In another video, we have compared the geometry operations, or as most people would call them, pathfinders, between Illustrator, Inkscape, and Affinity. They are pretty powerful and efficient, but they are pretty unintuitive as well. And if you want to have several different operations following one after the other, then it gets a little complicated as well. So can we get this more intuitive in order to be able to just use it? That's possible. We have a Shapebuilder tool. Here we have a circle, a closed path, and on top of that we have an open path, and this is filled, so Illustrator has closed it. The other apps do the same. If you fill an open path that has this kind of shape, then it gets closed and you get these shapes here. So I'm going to select this and then take this tool. And when I overroll, then you see you get these highlights. But since there is no line here, why do we get this? That's because of that fill. So in order to use that tool, you can drag over here and then you get a shape, and you can hold down Alt to erase shapes. I'm going to undo this, and then we can double click the tool. And you see we've got this option here. If I turn this off and do the same. Let's first select this. And then when I roll over, then you see it's just one click because those fills got ignored, fills that are on open paths. Let's undo that again. Let's pretend I didn't work precisely. Here, they don't meet. I'm going to take the tool again, and you see this is not quite what I want. So let's double click the tool again, and we can turn on a gap detection. I'm going to set it to large. Select it again, and you see again we get what we want. Now, if you're designing a logo, then you better work precisely. But in some cases, so when you're doing cartoons, then it might be okay if it doesn't close. Now, this is nice, but it immediately creates a shape. How about if you want to be able to change that? Because there might be someone who has a word about that, and he might not like what you did, and you have to correct that. So what happens then? Illustrator has a tool for that as well. It's below the Shapebuilder tool. It's the Live Paint Bucket tool. And you see we can just click and create this. And then I'm going to pick up this, just apply that here. So let's select another color like that. So we have this shape. It's okay. But now we get the correction. What you can do now is just change this and just move these around. And you see the fills are done. This is pretty nice because you can save the file and open it 2 weeks later and it's still editable. Let's take a look at what Inkscape has. So here we've got the same situation. Select these and it has a Shapebuilder tool here, and you see immediately some parts get cut off, and we can do the same here and fill these to make these, and also hold down the Shift key, and then we can delete these. And once you exit the tool, then you have built those shapes. I'm going to undo that. Inkscape has another tool, which is this one here, the Paint Bucket tool. And in order to use that, you can just click here and build these shapes, but this is not precise. Let's zoom in here, and you can immediately see you do not get a precise result. This works based on the screen representation of your artwork. But the Shapebuilder tool is precise, and it's a nice option, but it immediately creates shapes, just as Illustrator Shapebuilder did. Let's go to Affinity. Same situation, select the tool and take the Shapebuilder tool. The tool even has the same name in all the apps. And again, you see when we select these, because the path is filled, you get these shapes. You have to drag over here. There are no options like in Illustrator where you can select how you want to treat that, but that does not work here. You can also hold down Alt and then delete this. That is all possible. I'm going to undo this. Let's create the situation in which this is not closed, and then it has no options to counter that. So you have to work precisely, or it doesn't work. Affinity also has this kind of fill tool. Down here we have the vector flood fill tool, and I'm going to move this back so that we get something to fill again. Let's take this and we can just put green in here. But although the tool looks like Illustrator's Live Paint tool, it creates something differently, and it's also not pretty nicely editable. So let's take a look at that inside of the Layers panel. Here we have the situation, and you see this is the green shape we just created, and it's inside of a clipping mask. Let's select the thing, like in here, and you see we can move this around, but it's just the shape masked and we cannot easily change it. So if we try that, then this is what happens. So as you can see, we have intuitive functionality in all the apps, but if you want to have this not only intuitive, but also you wanted to correct your mistakes when working not precisely, or if you want to have that fully editable, you get that only in Illustrator.